Hello, I'm Jane Simpson. I began the Let's Talk MND podcast after my husband Robert was diagnosed with MND and he died 10 months later. This podcast has built an MND family. We share real stories from people living with MND, those who love them, and we learn about research and care in plain English. I'm not an expert, just someone with lived experience, and together we are stronger. This podcast is proudly supported by Evercare, an assisted living brand that shares our belief in independence, dignity, and community. You can learn more about their range at evercare.com.au, or you can find them in Bunnings Warehouse stores nationally. I'm so thankful for Evercare's support of the MND community, and I really hope that you enjoyed today's conversation. Hi, everybody. Back for another episode in 2026. This is exciting. And today we have Rob Ferrari. Rob is living with motor neurone disease. I've met Rob a couple of times in Sydney last year, and I think he, like the rest of you, has got a really interesting story. So I wanted him to come on. Hi, Rob. How are you?
Hi, Jane. Very well, thank you. And thank you for having me.
I was just saying before that Rob looks well. He's not lost any weight. And he said that's a problem because people say to him, gee, you look well.
I know it's early on that worried me a bit, but I'm happy to take any compliment now.
Yeah, I know how you feel, mate, and I'm not sick. So, Rob, we always start off with, who are you? Who is Rob Ferrari?
Well, I suppose at the crux of it, I've sort of always jumped into life. And when I was younger, before family, it was about sport. But once I got married to Marion and we got the family underway, it was all about family. But all the way along, I've enjoyed family first, but then friends, sport, and I was pretty busy at work, but work didn't rule my life. But I did okay at work, and I'm still enjoying life, to be honest.
So let's go back. I'm sorry about my phone. I normally put it on silent. Number 2, what sport did you play?
There's not many sports I haven't played. I played rugby at school, then when I left school, and played tennis for quite a long time. Played a bit of baseball. I played AFL for a few years when we moved to Melbourne with work. Took it up at the age of 47, I think.
Yeah, that was really stupid.
I survived. And then about 10 years ago, I thought I was getting a bit too old for all of that. So I took up golf, and that was my absolute passion until about 2 years ago.
Okay, we're going to get back to the golf. So tell me, you're married to Marion. How many children?
3 kids. I've got a son. He lives down in Melbourne. He's
Whereabouts?
29. He lives up in Epping, downtown Epping. So we used to live in Epping in Sydney.
Oh, okay.
He was in Epping in Melbourne. Slightly different suburbs.
It is, yeah.
But and I've got twin girls who are 28.
And so I've met one of your twin girls. She's a doctor, yeah? Congratulations. And then what did you do when you were working?
I spent most of my life sort of in the corporate world, in the building industry, but mainly on the building product side. Sort of I spent a lot of time traveling with work. Mainly, I started off sales and marketing and then ended up in business management. I enjoyed work. I worked hard, but I was much more interested in enjoying life.
Good. How old are you now?
61.
Okay, baby. So tell us about your 2024 diagnosis of MND.
Yes, well, it actually started in the June long weekend in 23. I was up at my brother-in-law's farm at Glendon Brook, just north of Brankston, and removing some timber posts around, and I couldn't grab hold of them. They were slipping out of my hand. So I went back to the hand therapist because I'd had an injury a few years before, and they thought it was related, and then couldn't work out what was happening. And then I went to a physio that I've been going to all my life, and pretty quickly he thought it was a nerve issue. and then referred me to a neurologist, not Dom, but another neurologist in Sydney, who was pretty sure at the outset it was either MND or some autoimmune condition. So at the end of November, he thought it was almost definitely MND and referred me to Dom. And so at the beginning of 24, I saw Dom and he confirmed it pretty much straight away.
Same as us here. We walked in the door and he knew. Yeah. Dom is Professor Dominic Rowe, who works out of Macquarie University in Sydney, Australia. How is your life? Were you still working at that point?
I was. Yeah, I absolutely sort of planned to work. Was starting to think about downsizing and what we could do. I was 59 when I was first diagnosed. I was thinking another 3 or 4 or 5 years. Overnight, work wasn't important. Wanted to spend time, just with family, friends, and what else. And I was also thinking, we need to downsize. We're in a 2-story home and had the garden and the pool and all those things that were becoming difficult. So I was really thinking about how can we have a great life together.
You have downsized, haven't you?
We've moved to DY, an apartment
Oh,
in DY. So,
well, oh, okay.
well, we've moved from a house to an apartment. So,
But DY is beautiful, so that's lovely.
hi.
And how is it? Oh, sorry. Did you resign straight away? And was work supportive and caring? And
Yes, they were. I mean, I've been at the company for nearly 20 years. So I, for the first month or so, I worked as per normal. Then I had a month off to try and, get my head around it. Because, at the beginning, it's, pretty devastating. And then I went back to work for a couple of months and I was, I wasn't very interested in work, to be honest. So I took a couple of months sick leave to work out what to do. So, but pretty quickly I thought, uh, you know, I don't really want to work anymore. So I sort of just planned to exit. So I didn't really work too much. Uh, and a few months after I was diagnosed, and that was
how is the MND affecting you physically now?
yeah. So it's mainly my arms. My legs are jumping around at the moment from my clonus. Trying to get into a better position. My legs are quite strong, but I'm sitting in this
Move. If
chair.
you want to move, move, move,
Yeah,
move.
yeah. So it started in my right hand, went up my right arm, and then started in my left hand and up the left arm. So my arms are extremely weak, and my legs are quite strong. And if you saw the muscles, you'd think there's nothing wrong with them, but I'm losing control and balance and all of that. So it's spreading through. I mean, I can still walk a little bit. I've just started using a wheelchair for longer walks. Um, and, you just sort of start getting used to losing strength. Anyone who's got MND knows what I'm talking about. It's just a continual loss, and just at a different rate. But I try and keep as active as I can. I go down to the ocean pool twice a week. So once I'm in the water, of course, you just feel weightless, and of course you can't fall over in the water. So you know what? You're not worried about that. So I get in with a support work, and they put some swing fins on my feet, and I can go up and down the pool pretty well, just on my back or sort of using a kickboard. So, between that and a bit of walking as much as I can, I feel like I'm still active. I can still go up to the golf club. I can still walk, to the ocean pool from the car.
Okay.
Um, but it's gradually all becoming a bit hard. But, that's just what happens. You adapt, and if it's too far to walk, you use a wheelchair.
Your voice is very strong.
Yeah, I get a bit out of breath when I'm talking a lot, and I suppose if you're being interviewed, you're a little tense. I don't know if I sound out of breath, but I
No, you don't.
feel a little bit out of breath. and these legs are jumping around, annoying
Okay.
me.
Just stop. Rearrange your legs.
Try and move the seat back. Uh, uh,
Take as long as you need.
uh, uh, okay, that's good. I got my heels flat on the floor. Should be right now.
Okay. But don't be uncomfortable. If you want to move, just say, Jane, I'm going to move. Okay.
I will. Thank you.
So I like to ask about who are your people? Who are, and I know the answer to this, so it's a leading question. So who is your support network? Who are the people who are caring for you and loving for you and making you feel part of the community still?
Yeah, I'm lucky. I've got pretty broad support network. Of course, it starts with my wife Marion, who is here
Hi,
somewhere.
Marion.
She's actually doing some housework. Yeah, do you want to say hi?
Of course she does.
Hello,
Hello, Marion. Lovely to see you.
how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Just trying to make your husband comfortable because he was putting up with pain.
Are
It's
you?
not pain. It's
No,
just that my jerky
uncomfortability.
legs
Yes.
bouncing around.
Oh,
Jerking
So
legs. So
uh,
Marion, of course,
so I
number
live with
one.
Marion, and she's my main support worker. My two daughters are fantastic. Um, my son lives in Melbourne, so he gets out of most of it. But then I have I've got 4 support workers that come at different times. I have someone every morning, twice to go swimming. The other 3 mornings just to help me get ready. Marion works 2 days a week, so she can still go to work. And then, of course, I've got some very old school friends that I see pretty regularly. And then I've got a lot of mates at Pennant Hills Golf Club.
So I met some of your mates from Pennant Hills Golf Club when I was up in Sydney doing a fundraiser for Dom Rowe.
Hmm.
And I was surprised how, I think there would have been 6 or 7 of them in the room. And I was really taken by their, the strength of their friendships.
Yeah,
It was
the
really beautiful.
it's a very supportive and social club. It's a beautiful golf course. I used to play up there a lot. There's 3 guys up there that have set up the Monster Foundation. It's raised a lot of money for Dom as well and his team. It's just a great group of guys, and I get looked after very well.
They were telling me how many, when they first started Monster, MND was quite rare. They didn't hear about it. But they're shocked now at how many affiliations through Pennant Hills Golf Club of
Yeah,
people who have MND.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's really, really surprised them and upset them a lot, but they're going to keep working hard at it. So how do you get up to the golf club?
I've got a support worker that drives me up there.
And what do
So,
you do when you get up there?
normally, it's been changing. For the first 6 months, I was playing golf. I had a glove that had a Velcro strap, help me hang on to the club a bit. And I got some thicker grips, and I kept playing. I just adapted my game. And then from after that, I walked the course a bit for another 6 months.
Good on you.
And then now I normally just go up and say hi to the guys after they've finished a comp round. But on Wednesday, I'm jumping in a golf cart with a couple of guys. So I'll just go around for 9 holes. But I just like having a chat with everyone after when they've finished.
Just to be with them. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So your days are sounding pretty busy at the moment, actually.
Yes, I've always been very busy. I used to be pretty busy at work, but I was always either playing sport or going for a swim or spending time with the family or catching up with friends. I like to be busy, so I have physio twice a week, swimming twice a week, and then I try and get to the golf club at least every second week. I'm trying sailing in a few weeks.
Stop.
Well, so I learned about this at an MND support group, Manly Sailability. Sailability. So
Heard of
it's
them.
a global program actually. I haven't been yet. I'm going for the first time in a few weeks. But if you need to be lifted in a hoist, they'll do that. And you go out in a little sailing boat. They've got a lot of volunteers. So I'll be trying that in a few weeks. So I'm pretty happy just to keep looking for things to do because I don't know. I watch a fair bit of TV when I'm home, but I don't particularly want to do that all day long.
So you're not getting bored.
I'm not getting bored. No, I've always done a lot of work at home. I sort of fully renovated their last house and sort of did everything. Uh, all, and then I sort of can't do anything now. So I sort of have a long list for when people come over. We go through the list to knock off a few jobs. Not that we've moved into a brand new apartment, so we don't really need too much done. But there's always something I want to do on the computer.
Are you on any trials?
No, I'm not. Unfortunately, I haven't. There hasn't been one available or suitable for me. I've got upper and lower limb onset ALS. So there hasn't really been anything. I have been taking Trimex for the last 18 months, which is the old Lighthouse trial. I wasn't part of the trial, but Dom thought, he thought in my situations it's worthwhile. You might get some benefit. So I've been on that for 18 months, and of course, Rilazole from the beginning. But there's definitely a lot happening around the world. I'm involved in the Lived Experience Network, and I'm on the Lived Experience Research Advisory Panel, which sort of, helps you learn more about what's happening. But I also logged into a global alliance or ALS at the end of last year,
Yep.
and there were
in
people from
Canada.
all over the world on that sort of online conference and talking about what was happening in the different countries. So it's quite amazing what's going on.
What gave you the most hope?
The most hope is literally just I've met more and more people involved in MND online and locally, and I just think the sheer volume of work that's going on, whether there's more being learnt, I suppose, about what, even if things aren't working, then that's another thing eliminated. But the amount of work going on, the work, the benefits coming out of the Torferson trial and some other new trials coming through. I know that for the genetic version are quite amazing. So there are inroads being made. So, and I'm a very positive person. So, you know, um, I think it's good to be positive. Who knows what's around the corner, and it's much better than being the other way and worrying about things. I don't know. It'll be correct one day. Who knows?
There's a lot more money being put in globally,
Yes, a lot more money.
and there's a lot more awareness globally. And I personally think we have reasons to be hopeful.
Yeah,
There's a lot
absolutely.
there's a lot going on that we don't know about. There's a
Yes,
lot going on that you just get snippets of every now and then. So, yeah, I definitely think. And
but there's also, because you've got diagnosis, cure, treatment, and care, and they're all very important.
yeah,
Treatment and care. I think. I mean, you don't know, but I think the little bit of swimming I do, the physio I do, having a positive outlook. I mean, all these things can help. Make the best of bad situations. Yeah, so care and treatment are really important, and the more we learn about that, I know, there's concerns over too much exercise, but I think a little bit's good. Definitely, my breathing improved after I started swimming. My breathing's pretty good. but it did improve a little bit. So any improvement there is a good improvement from my point of view.
I've said this before, but one of the professors I've interviewed, Brad Turner, he's been doing this for 25 years. And he said to me, Jane, I don't have scientific proof of this, but I know for a fact that people who have a better attitude have a better longevity outcome.
And I don't think that's just MND. I mean, I think life in
that's
general.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not definitely. So I wanted to ask, how are you making changes within the MND world? Are you part of the Lived Experience Network, Lived Experience Research Advisory?
So, and I've done a bit of work helping raise money with MND New South Wales and their walks, and been to another fundraising event. Obviously helped the guys at Monster, not that they have asked me to help too much. They always say not to worry, but if I could do more to help, I'm always keen to try and find out what more I could do. I do owe my local member a letter to support Dom's initiative with the New South Wales State Parliament.
Did you go to State Parliament at the end of
I
last
did,
year?
yeah. I went there. That was great, and there seems to be support for that.
Can you just, for those who don't know about this, can you just give a brief summary?
Yeah. So the member for Griffith, that area down near Griffith, is putting forward a bill to make MND a notifiable disease in New South Wales, and so she's formed a group called, I think, Parliamentary Friends of MND. I don't think it's a great name, but anyway, but they're getting support, and so she's got some other members involved, and I think the bill goes forward in a couple of months.
I think it's in March.
Yeah. So look, and I want to reach out to my local member to get support. So the more support there is, the better. And of course, the big benefit of this is that once it's a notifiable disease, then a lot more information is captured. And if New South Wales goes ahead, it's likely that the federal government will adopt it. So it would be a fantastic outcome for everybody.
We're kind of hoping, because we keep hitting our heads up against a brick wall with the federal government about a database or about notifiable disease.
Right.
Just, we've got bruises on our foreheads. So then the thinking from this perspective is, if New South Wales and then other states around the country all make it a notifiable disease, it's going to, number one, it will be beneficial for all of us, but number two, it may put pressure on the federal government to go, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you would know, Jane, that one of the challenges with MND in the community is that people die very quickly, relatively. The total number of people with MND isn't enormous, but what is enormous is the death toll every year. Similar to the National
100%.
Road Toll. It's unbelievable, and that's what we need to get through to the government so they understand the enormity of the issue.
Well, as Dom talks about quite often, more people die of MND than they do of road accidents. Yet every single road accident is investigated. There's a coroner's inquiry. There's full research into that. Whereas someone with MND does like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just, excuse me. So yeah, we need more pressure because we need more data.
Yeah. And that's why, what you do with your podcast, Jane, is just fantastic because, just keep spreading the word. I was talking to my physio this morning and mentioned I was doing the podcast with you. They all want to, and I should mention Northern Beaches Rehab.
Go Northern Beaches Rehab. Yeah.
They've got a lot of neurological physios there. They are fantastic and a big part of my life every week to help me moving forward. But they were interested to hear about what you're doing. So I think what you're doing is great.
Thank you. I'm grateful. If you're going to reach out to your local member, your federal member, Zali Stegel's also very aware of MND and very supportive of us too. So you can always drop Zali a little thank you note too. So what are the plans coming up for this year?
We haven't got any major plans. We used to, for the last 5 or 6 years, we've travelled quite a bit. Before I got diagnosed, not long after I got diagnosed, went over to the UK and tucked over to Paris and Rome for a little while, my daughter and her boyfriend. In April last year, we had a fantastic trip to South Africa with the whole family. So my 3 kids, their partners, and 2 young kids came along as well. So 10 of us did an African safari, which was
So,
unbelievable. We started at Pielanesberg National Park, north of Johannesburg. Spent a few days in Sun City, which you feel a bit guilty going to Sun City because it's like a lavish Las Vegas in South Africa. But anyway, then we flew up to Victoria Falls, into the falls, and another game park in Zimbabwe, and then flew down to Cape Town for a few days, and then back again. So 2 weeks all up, but trip of a lifetime.
trip of a lifetime.
So now we haven't got anything planned. We are going down to the Grand Prix in Melbourne in a few
yeah.
weeks. So my daughter's organised a mobility spot for me. So we'll go along. She's a big fan of Formula One now after the Drive to Survive series on Netflix. So we watch all the races together. So looking forward to that. But beyond that, no plans. But I'm looking forward to booking something that's a nice and easy holiday for Marion and I, if that's possible.
Yeah, if it's possible. I am another one of those who watch Drive to Survive.
It puts a whole new spin on motor racing.
Yeah, I was so sad for Oscar last year. He's just got to do it this year.
I know, yes.
Yeah. It's a massive week in Melbourne. Will you be staying with your son?
No, we're staying in town.
Yeah.
So my daughter gave me the ticket for Christmas, which was pretty amazing. And then until I looked at the flights and accommodation, I was a bit late to the booking, but it's a
Yeah,
bit
we
more
know how to.
expensive than I planned.
Yeah, like treble.
Anyway, we're down there for 3 nights. We've got a
Good.
2-bedroom apartment. So Marion and Annabelle are coming down. We'll have a great time.
Brilliant. I might see if we can catch up for a coffee.
Sure, that'd be
That'd
great.
be good. Now, last question is I always ask, and I think that you've already answered a lot of it, but what advice do you have for others in your position or who are just newly diagnosed, and those first 3 months?
It's yeah, I'm only 2 years down the track, but I feel like I've been on the journey for a long time. But it evolves. I mean, at the beginning, a disaster. I mean, it's always a disaster, but it's tough. I think the best piece of advice is just be positive and build that network around you, and that and just live with the change. I mean, it's amazing how much things can change week by week. You can pick up a drink last week and you can't this week. You got to use a straw or whatever it is. But I don't know. I think if you can accept that and just have the best life that you can, and surround yourself with people you love, it's not much better than that.
And that's good advice for everybody, Rob, not just for those who are going through MND at the moment. Now, your voice is getting very tired. I can hear that. I'm really grateful for your time. It's lovely to have met you in the past few times I've met you. I don't know if you've got my mobile, so I'll send it through to you. And
Yeah,
maybe
please
I
do.
can come into the city when you're here and we'll catch up for a coffee.
That would be great. And thanks again for everything you're doing and for having me on.
It's a joy. And give Dom a great big smoochy kiss for me when you see him next.
I'll be seeing him in about 2 weeks, so I'll do that. Bye, Jay.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers. If you'd like to get in touch, you can message me on the Let's Talk MND Facebook or Instagram pages, or Let's Talk MND5@gmail.com. The information on this podcast is not medical advice. And the music you hear is by a much-loved member of our family, John Hanley. Once again, thanks to Evercare for sponsoring this podcast and supporting Let's Talk MND. Their commitment to care and community helps make meaningful conversations like today's possible.